all right, party people in the place to be, vandals, and all you people out there, reading your little zine style comic books. This is a brand new edition of Hot Flash. This is we haven't done one this year. It's been quite a while since we did one. This is a shorter format show, or at least we aim it to be. But we might have a decent conversation because, like, we have two pretty stacked books and quite a bit to say about both of them. Joe, you kind of discovered this neat little boutique label. Why don't you go ahead and intro what we're talking about tonight, man?
We're going to be talking about a couple titles from Zuperhero Comics. This is a little imprint that was started by Mahdi Mahdi Khene. Kind of discovered him during the pandemic with his Spider-Man bootleg. Was something that he put out there, and it caught fire. A lot of people kind of caught on to it and stuff. And that's how I first saw him, but I didn't make the connection at first about the Zuperhero Comics and stuff. I made that connection later. Like, I just saw it on Instagram, and then I went and checked it out, and there's a bunch of titles on Zuperhero Comics. You can go to zuperherocomics.com and go check out everything they've got. Like, Maddie loves to do his bootlegs. So his most recent bootleg is of Wolverine. Right, you got the runt of the litter is what that issue is called, which is kind of a play on Wolverine being of smaller, shorter stature, which is funny. And for pre-order right now, they have his latest book that'll be coming out is Pussy Thief, which looks pretty good. If you go follow him on socials, he posted a few samples of pages on the inside, so you can go check that out on socials. Go follow him on socials, especially Instagram. I think that's the only platform he's really active on. So if you go follow him on Instagram, you get sneak peeks at all kinds of stuff. So it's worth going to follow him. He's pretty active on socials. So yeah. So go ahead, Johnny.
The format of the books is really rad though too. They're like neat little zine sized issues. I don't have any of the physical copies yet. I'm definitely going to be picking some up, but I love the format of them too. Like, you can see it on Instagram, and I think it kind of adds to the flavor that he's like throwing at us, because like there's a heavy 90s comics theme to it. I think like one of the books we're going to talk about definitely takes place at in the late 90s, and then the other one I think is actually in the 70s, but it has
79,
but it has a really 1980s UK feel to it, in my
opinion. Yeah, for sure. I completely agree with you on that.
And we're going to get into this in a bit, man. But like, do you have a check-in, Joe?
Actually, I didn't think we're going to do a check-in. I would have one. But anyway, it's something that I posted on socials. So aside from that, like the patches we got for the humans and all that stuff, and Vengeance. But we could say it now. We are going to have Keenan and Alex on in a couple weeks about. They're going to come on and talk about Vengeance is for the Living. So I got that in the mail, and that would have been my check-ins. So that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, and we're definitely gonna probably do a review episode for that book as well. Like, I really want to talk about it in greater detail than I would if when Alex and Keenan are with us. But yeah, that's going to be a really exciting interview because we just talked about the humans. I think that's how Keenan got a hold of us, right? To like want to talk to us. So
yeah, when we did our humans episode, Tom kind of I think he reposted it and stuff, and then I asked him about the patches, and he said get in touch with Keenan, and then it just snowballed from there. And Keenan's like, "Oh, you want to talk about my most recent book?" I was like, "Hell yeah, we'll talk about your book." So then we set it up, and I think May 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. I forgot the calendar downstairs again, but I'm pretty sure it's May 3rd that they're coming.
And what we're talking about here, Vengeance is for the Living by Floating World Comics, written by Keenan Marshall Keller and drawn by Alex. What's his last name? Do you know?
Just a sec. I have the book right
there. This book's actually really relevant to the stuff we're talking about tonight, man. It's the same style of just gritty indie
Alex
stuff.
Delaney.
Alex Delaney. And yeah,
Alex Delaney.
They're both aiming for kind of like what you expect 90s comics to be like, even though they weren't. like they have this total like 90s feel to them. Much like the books we're going to be talking about tonight, man. It's a very similar flavor.
Yeah. But that we'll be talking about this on a future episode, so I
Definitely.
won't show too much. I'll save it for then. Yeah. So today we picked a couple books that caught my eye when I was going through. Mahdi has quite a few different titles. Steel Street or Street Steel
Steel Streets is his main one.
Is his
like
main one, which is pretty much a love letter, I think, to TMNT, because especially issue 3, you see does like a homage when the reflection of what are those the mouse spots?
The Mousers.
Yeah, you see a reflection, and he has anyway. Issue 3 is a pretty cool homage, and I think that was issue 3 of the TMNT original run too, with the mouser head with the reflection in it. Anyway, that's I think his love letter to TMNT, and I think he's got 10 issues of that out. So I didn't buy any of them yet. I was waiting to see if he's going to do a collected edition, like a trade or like a bigger volume. So I was waiting for that, but he has that, and that's another cool book of his. I think that was one of his first ones that he started all this off with. So
yeah. And, I mean, like he's got that Eastman and Laird look to it. Like especially if you look at the Steel Street books, man. Like yeah, the influence is clear. I mean, there might be, I don't know. I get a little hint of Judge Dredd from like the chin coming out from under the mask.
Yeah,
you know, the character. I don't know. I get a slight touch of that, but like yeah, everything else is Ninja Turtles to the bone when I look at the Steel Street books.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But the books we're talking about tonight, like Mahdi just wrote them. These are both drawn by other collaborators. We're first going to talk about Creep Sneak Kill, which is drawn by Anya the Dreamer Driffill. And dude, like
this was the first one I sent you.
Yeah. Oh, this is actually you sent me Punk Slim first.
Oh, did I? Okay. Yeah. This is one thing I want to make clear, which is very cool, and I really appreciate it. And I'm going to give a shout out. Is pretty much all their books are available as a digital download. You can go and buy the PDFs, and I love that because I don't know if he's doing any reprints of any of these or if it's just one print run and that's it. And when it's sold out, it's sold out. But you can still go pick up, like if you missed issue 1 of something, you can still go pick it up digitally and read the first issues and then jump right back in with physical copies. I don't know, because sometimes it says sold out on the site. I'm not sure. I haven't reached out to him to ask him if he's doing reprints on any of this or if it's once it's sold out, it's gone. But it's not completely gone because I think almost every title from Zuperhero Comics can be bought as a digital download, which is how I did it, because now, especially I live in Canada, so the international shipping is like you buy a $5 American comic, you're paying $15-$20 in shipping, which is completely ridiculous, which is why I've been slowly converting to digital, because it's just I could buy more books for the price, and get these stories and read them. And I mean, it's a pretty good read on a tablet. If you have a tablet, I got to say, I'm sold on the digital. If you have a nice tablet to read it on,
they're $3.
Yeah. I mean, I prefer having the physical, but I mean, it's become so cost prohibitive with the increased price on shipping. So I really appreciate that they have all these books as a digital purchase. So it's really cool.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that he does reprint most stuff. When I was on the site, a lot of the stuff that was sold out were like actual like handmade magazine sized version of issues that like aren't available anymore, and a couple other things like that, different print variants that he did. But like I know that like the Spider-Man bootleg that he's done, he's reprinted that.
Yeah. That's that one got quite a bit of steam over the pandemic.
That's the seller, though. You know what I mean? Like, and it's quite interesting what you showed me of it, man. Like I'm not the world's biggest Spider-Man fan, but like I'm probably gonna definitely check his Spider-Man out.
Oh yeah, it's definitely spoofy and he has fun, and definitely like there's some funny takes in there. Really, really good stuff, fun stuff. Yeah. Oh, we got Sequential Geek is in the house. All right. So you ready to get into it, Johnny? Our first book, like you said?
Yeah, we got Creep Sneak Kill, which is kind of like if you mix Gen 13 with Love and Rockets, pretty much is what it really reminds me of.
Yeah.
And but it's got like a 90s style to it too. Like here when
Hmm.
you see the girlfriend and stuff, it really reminds me of a comic I have in particular. The Max meets Gen 13.
Hmm.
Like the art in that like kind of reminds me of Miss Driffill's art, and I don't know, that's a good thing. I actually really love that
Hmm.
one shot, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, this book, you sent it to me. I had no idea what it was. I thought maybe it was like a Kickstarter you backed. Like the name was interesting, so
Hmm.
I pulled it down right away and I looked at it and I just kind of read through it really fast. And dude, it's a total blast, man. Like it
Yeah.
yeah, it kind of reminds me of kind of something that you'd see more on TV in the 90s than an actual comic book, in a
Yeah.
way with the storyline of it. But yeah, you basically start off, you got a Sammy, the monkey boy with the mohawk who it acts all punk rock but like listens to the Goo Goo Dolls and shit. Like that one panel in particular where he's listening to Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls like really cracked me up. So there's some pretty good music humor in both of these books, man.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Marty,
Yeah. Yeah.
Marty rocks out. You know what I mean? Like I can tell that by reading him.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much he's like the devil may care cool guy at school, but he's still got the hot girlfriend somehow. It, which is kind of like a kind of neat way to set it up. And like he's got this best friend, which is funny because he's like a big living rock. His name's Clay. Um, and
Yeah.
like he's just like living this awesome teenage life where like he gets suspended for smoking, but he doesn't even care, man. He's going to the arcade, and his Walkman breaks while he's skateboarding, and like he goes to all of a sudden there's a Walkman store conveniently there. And like he goes in to check out like what's going on and like if they could fix his Walkman, and they basically give him like this iPod thing, and zap, he wakes up, man, in a tube, and reality is just broken, man. And like it it was a fun little setup, man. They handled it really great, right? And then this is only the mid part of the issue too. There's lots
Yeah.
more we're going to talk about, but like the setup and the stinger, man. What do you think, Joe?
I didn't see it coming, but I'll get to it when I'll do a spoiler section, but we'll talk about it and I'll let people know when we get to spoilers because there's a few things I want to touch on that I thought were super cool. And now that I went back and reread it, I picked up on all the there's a bunch of little hints everywhere about the reveal at the end of what's going on, right? So
Oh, the little glitches and stuff in the background, and like
yeah,
the
yeah,
people's
yeah.
speech bubbles being like all muddy. Yeah.
Yeah,
They,
yeah.
they do a really neat job of like showing you that the reality might not be like what it seems to be, like with the neat little
Yeah, yeah.
glitches.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Well, I guess we're gonna spoil it. So the spoilers, if you don't want to know about the glitchies, I took a few clips and I isolated them, and it's really cool. Here we go. Like here's one of the and it's really cool. So I'm going to get into details. So if you don't want to know and you want to try to figure it out on your own, just mute it for a few seconds. I love how the word bubbles, all the words are all screwed up and like uh
You can't see
re-
his face. Yeah, man.
reprinted, and the faces are blurry or glitched out. And this is one where like there's a teacher talking to him. And it's almost like if it's an NPC, right? Not, like an
Yeah, like you're
uh
playing Fallout
yeah,
or something,
yeah.
and
Yeah, and here they're in the hallways, and everybody that isn't a main character, their speech is weird, and then you see the glitchiness in the face. Uh, and this is this is the opening page. Even the title, that the title for this issue is all glitched out. And then if you look closely, you can see like the people in the streets. The speech is a little more coherent here, but their faces, they're like the question in DC, like no face, right? Just a
yeah,
blank face. And then this one's kind of cool. I don't know if it was done on purpose, but they framed the tail around the glitch on the face. I don't know if that's like to try to make people notice the glitch more, but how the tail just frames that girl, and then you can see like the glitchiness on her and her face and stuff. And it's really cool. And I didn't catch it in the beginning. I don't know if you did, but I didn't catch it the first read through. And then I have one more. Yeah, and then you see like the cars all glitchy. So there's little like either
Well,
people or objects that are all like
what's neat
these.
is the first time I was reading it, I thought it might have been misprinted comic. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, I
It doesn't.
noticed the speech bubbles. The first thing I noticed was the speech bubbles. I didn't notice the little glitches on the people. Mm, yeah.
But yeah, it's all done really clever, man. If you pay
Mhm,
attention, like you can see that. Are you? You'll start to think like that. At least, and definitely the second time around, you'll definitely pick up on it.
mhm.
But yeah,
A-
man.
And the color palette. I mean, I don't know if it's Mahdi who colors this one, but man, I love his color palette. Like you said, it's definitely a throwback uh with the dots. It's a throwback to newsprint comics, right? It's newsprint comics to the max, and I love that. That's what I started reading when I was a kid. It was all on newsprint, and this just looks like something that's I don't have a physical copy yet. I'm hoping that maybe Mario will make it to maybe a convention up this way at some point, and I could maybe go check it out and buy some physical stuff, or maybe I'll just wait and just make a big order so the shipping's not as prohibitive. But I wonder if this is all printed on newsprint or what kind of paper it's printed on. Mm,
Oh, it doesn't look shiny in the Instagram stuff. It
yeah,
looks like it's matted at least,
yeah.
if
Because
not
if it's a
newsprint.
matte finish, then that's a chef's kiss right there, man. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Because it's definitely a throwback to like you said, Johnny, like 80s, like 70s, 80s, 90s comics, right? So
Yeah,
I
I think it was. Yeah, definitely with the bendy dots, and yeah, it does. It reminds me of like totally the type of coloring that they had when I started reading comics in like 1987.
yeah.
Like even the mainstream were like that with the bendy dots on the face. Like
Hmm.
there. If you looked at like the face, it was like white, but like with red dots, that making the
The color tones.
yeah, and that's pretty much what this book is attempting to do, and does really well, man.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
it's a great looking book. I'm not sure if it's digital or hand drawn. I don't personally care at this point, to tell you the truth. If you can pull it off and make it look good, like the
Yeah.
what's the guy who did the Frankenstein book that we reviewed,
Oh,
RL Black or something like that.
RL Black. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he nails it, man. I don't
Yeah.
care that he does his stuff 100% digital. It fucking looks legit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So,
cool.
and if I find out this book's digital, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Hmm. I think the drawing is done traditionally, but the coloring is probably most definitely done in digital. Yeah.
But I mean, for what this book's going for, it nails it, man. Like it's got the when it switches over to the other reality, the coloring switches to being a bit different, kind of more modern, I would say, because
Mhm.
it's a lot darker looking. When they get out of the vats and kind of figure out what's happening to them, or a,
Yeah.
a little bit of what's happening to them. Like this
Mhm.
book plays it really close to the vest. It's a great first issue. Like
Yeah. Yeah,
eh,
I really enjoyed it, and when I saw this on socials, I was like, I'll go check it out, and I saw that they had the digital download, so I bought it, and I was like, you got to check this out, and then I sent it to you, and I was surprised you got back to me almost right away. You're like, holy shit, this book was really good, and so I was like, all right, cool, so yeah, so then
well,
we're looking for
just
something
the
to
way
talk about, and
just
so
just the way they handle things, though, man. Like how they introduce the power subtly. You know what I mean? Like
mhm,
they just walk into the dark, and the one girl has got the light eyes. You know what I mean? And they don't. He didn't feel like he needed to shoehorn too much in, but like he did give you so much information for like a nice 30-page comic. You know what I mean?
mhm,
Like I haven't read an origin story for a superhero book like that I felt this happy about in a long time, man. But I think once again, it's got like I said, it's like Gen 13 by the Hernandez brothers is what it's like, though. It's because it's got that indie like Fantagraphics almost like layer to it as well.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. It was I love the look. You know how I am. I'm all about if a book looks cool, I'll give it a shot. Because for me,
There's
it's
just
art is number one for me. And if it has something interesting, right? Not your typical like this book has a pulse. It has a look. It has its own style, its own, you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it's a rehash of something else. Well, obviously it does because it's like a kickback to like the 80s style of comics, but I mean, but it still has its own style, but it's borrowing from the past a little bit and just tweaking it, which is great.
yeah, well, because I mean, like they never went as wild as to have like a blue monkey with a mohawk and a leopard tail. There's and sequential to answer your question. There's only one issue of this out yet, and it's still widely available on the website at $6 for a floppy, the little cool little floppy for it, and $3 for the PDF. Right there, you just go to Zuperhero Comics. Like,
Mhm.
you got a nice little boutique store on there, and like if you're interested in this, like pretty much everything on the website, like I want so bad. So like yeah, I know the type of comic book fan you are, you'll probably really enjoy the website
Mhm.
sequential.
Yeah, yeah, really cool stuff.
But I mean, yeah, this one sets up the team really cool. They're in, I guess, the real world, so we don't know how well like they're gonna fit in because like in their little mock high school world that the scientists I guess were keeping them in, like they kind of all fit in really well with like just the regular NPC people. But I don't think that there's many other people like Clay and Sammy going to be running around, or the what was the little devil looking dude's name?
Oh, I don't remember. I
Yeah,
didn't.
like they all have really crazy looks. So yeah, I can't wait to see with the next issue, man. Like I'm very hyped for this, and um yeah, cool. But yeah, I'm really excited to see where this book goes. Like I hope that they follow up with it pretty soon. I know that he's got a lot. He's doing a lot. He's quite prolific for a guy that kind of just only got found out about a year or two ago. You
Mhm.
know.
Well, the next title we have two. There's been two releases, and I think there are maybe a couple months apart. From issue one to issue two, so I'm thinking maybe this one might have a similar release date. So it'd probably be due. Issue two would probably be due within the next month or so, if it follows the same kind of release schedule as the other title we're going to talk about.
But I mean, he also throws in funny little stuff. There's like these great ads in the back. He's got the the Zuper scooter and stuff. It kind of looks like the old actually video game ads more than like vehicle ads in the old comic books. But the looks right. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Good stuff. I like when they throw in neat stuff like that. Like Benjamin Mara does stuff like that too. But like, yeah, from what I see, Mahdi like rolls with a pretty cool crowd, man. Like I saw in the back of the comic, there's a picture of him hanging out with Jim Mahfood and a bunch of other, pretty high rollers in the indie world. So like he's
Yeah. Oh, I think he's from around New York. I want to say the Bronx, maybe. I'm not sure, but he's from around the New York area. So
that's funny. I was gonna ask if you thought that he was from Wyoming because like he made his comic take place in Wyoming. I thought that
well,
was hella.
maybe he's originally from there. I don't know, but it seems to me I saw something about him being from New York.
Okay. Well, yeah, like I thought it was hella funny that he made Creep Sneak Kill take place in Wyoming. I was just like, Blue Monkey Punk Rockers in Wyoming, huh?
What's wrong with Wyoming, man?
It's tiny, man. They don't got
Don't
a they don't have cities and
don't
stuff.
be hating, man. Don't be hating.
I actually was I thought Wyoming was really interesting when I went through it, man. Like
Yeah.
I'd never felt so small in my entire life. And whenever they try to tell you there's not enough room for all the people in the United States, they're lying, man. Like go to Wyoming.
Go to Wyoming.
There's lots of fucking room up there, dog.
There
I
you
don't know how
go.
nice it is to live up there, but like, man, there's room.
There you go. Problem solved. People just gotta stop being snobs about where they want to live. don't,
Uh,
don't be like Johnny. Live in Wyoming. uh, good stuff. Yeah. So yeah, I highly recommend picking this book up. And so if you see Maddie at a con or anything, go pick up the book. It's a fun read, and like you said, it's a fun format. It's not your traditional, you know. It's got a slightly more of a square shape to it, I think. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, I really, really highly recommend it. And then the next book is also very visually stunning as well. This one's kind of by a more known up and comer. Like he had a pretty big book with Sean Lewis
Sean Lewis. Yeah.
a year ago, which is funny. It actually gets mentioned in the comic, which
Yeah.
I
Here's a
had a
little hint.
yeah. When Punk Slim's actually reading Bear Viking Pirate Queen,
Yeah.
I laughed my ass off, man.
Yeah, yeah. There's a fun. They have a good time with the book, right? Like you said, the music references, even the movie, like the mashup movies, the mashup music. Anyway, we'll explain it as we're going, but it's this one's a lot of fun too. I I think Maddie just loves making comics, and he's just having a blast, and just
And this
no.
one, it kind of reminds me of like something from 2000 AD a bit, something like
Hmm.
Skiz or Future Shocks, one of those
Hmm.
type of shorts, with the like really exaggerated like punker characters.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
But
So
yeah,
we're
Jonathan Marks Barravecchia does the art in this, and I, like in his big work, he kind of did more of a Kent Williams thing. Here, I'd say it's more Sienkiewicz esque.
Sienkiewicz, sometimes a little bit of Mark Teixeira with the heavy inks, but yeah, definitely Bill Sienkiewicz for sure. So you have a little bit of maybe a little bit of Jock too in there, like sometimes like
Yeah.
he's got a really cool style. I love Jonathan's art style. Great stuff.
Yeah, really cool. I like that Mop Top Bop looks like Johnny Ramone. That's another character, but like he's also a mandrill baboon, I believe,
Hmm.
which is really cool. I love crazy anthropomorphic characters, and yeah, mandrill baboons don't get represented as much as they should. Actually, I think the last time I actually saw one is in another weird space comic like this. There was one in Alexis Zurrett's Space Riders.
Mm.
Which I wonder if like that might be a little homage because I'm pretty sure.
Could be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
These guys party hard at conventions, I assume.
basically like these two, Punk Slim and Mop Top Bop, they live on a junk planet, and it's their job to kind of clean up whatever comes through the portals. And usually it's just records and movies, which is funny because like somehow on the transportation from Earth to the garbage planet, they'll get mixed together. So they're like got old Rambo instead of old Yeller, or like they just got these weird. What was the other one? Like the Elton Bowie records and shit.
Yeah, yeah, a mix. Yeah, for sure. There's some references through there. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, looks like Lolo's new book, that Bastards of the Universe crowdfunding thing he's got. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. It's got that style, It's got that flavor, right? Yeah, yeah. And they call themselves junkers, right? They take care of all the trash that comes through the portal.
Yeah, the
So
junk punks, yeah, and like
junk punks.
most of the time they just like jam out and play guitar, like kind of Bill and Ted ish.
Hmm.
But like
Hmm.
yeah, one day they're get the call and like the garbage comes and it's just not right, man. Something weird's going on, and it's like this little dude, and usually nothing living's ever come through before. So like they chase this guy down. It's a really funny scene too, because like they're talking shit. They're on their motorcycles, so they can't really understand what each other are saying. It's written really funny. Like I
Yeah. And
really
sometimes, like, look at the baboon's face there on the third panel. It almost has a little bit of Simon Bisley-ish vibe to it, with the little bit of the hatching and stuff, and the line work. So I mean, Jonathan's style is like a mishmash of all kinds of different people, like influences.
well.
Yeah.
He also throws in some different styles in the issues too, which is cool. Like
Hmm.
we'll get to one in a second where like it completely switches up. But yeah, they catch
Hmm.
the little dude, and basically
Yeah.
he tells them not much. He kind of just starts crashing out, kind of like he's just babbling about people coming pretty much, and like they got him, and like,
Tied up.
but I love this page, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even
Yeah.
sure whose style like that's in. It's just killer though.
The colors, the line work, the hatching.
and
Yeah.
and those are basically like some kind of elder goddish type things that
Mhm.
might or not be coming for uh Punk Slim and Mop Top Bop. But yeah, while they're like talking to this guy, like the phone that they have, which is hella funny, it's an old 90s cordless phone, starts ringing, and like the phone's never rang before, and it's the boss. And basically the boss tells them they gotta smoke the little three-eyed dude that came through the portal. And like they're kind of all bummed out about it, man, because like they don't do shit like that. You know, they act like they're tough and punks and shit like, but they ain't murderers. So they had to do it though, otherwise it was them or him. Kind of was
Mhm.
like the mentality. So
Yeah.
and then this issue is really cool. We get a
Ba-
follow
ba-
up.
backup story. Yeah. By Mahdi.
Yeah, by Mahdi, which makes me think that because they also talk about the town of Hellbed in this book, which makes me think that as well as in Creep Sneak Kill, which makes me think that the town of Hellbed is like his main city. I think that that might be where Steel Streets takes place in.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, great style. Maddie's got some cool stuff too. I love his style as well.
Yeah, like this is some of his black and white stuff here. I did a couple of pages for the short story he did, The Muffler.
He's got sometimes a little bit, like you said, Eastman Lard. Sometimes a little bit of Jim Valentino as well, like on that spread, the 12 one, Johnny, where they're standing in the ring. Like definitely gives me like Jim Valentino style there, a little bit vibes. So yeah, yeah, I love all that. Like I was going through all the stuff on the site, and it all looks fucking cool.
And he had this fake movie poster for
Yeah,
the Steel Streets with Donnie Yen and
yeah. Maddie's his promo stuff is off the wall, man. It's off the hook. He's got some amazing fake posters he makes all the time and stuff. It's really cool. Like he's a really fun follow on Instagram, on socials. Yeah.
so then we get the second issue of Punk Slim and Mop Top Bop, which just came out pretty much, right?
Yeah, this just came out like I think a couple weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken.
And this one's a bit more serious in tone, but like it's still really enjoyable, man. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
pretty crazy. And basically you start out and like it's like in this crazy war, and like
Yeah.
and Punk Slim's kind of like narrating to himself, like kind of Frank Miller-esque. It's
Yeah.
pretty fun.
And I love the color palette here too.
Yeah.
How each one goes back and forth. Like he's red in one, and then when it goes, he's yellow. Like the page before, you see it too. Like you see how it transitions back and forth from him being red to him being yellow, and the background's red, and it just gives a nice flow from panel to panel. I love that. It's such a nice touch in the art. It just makes you jump from panel to panel, and so they different. Each panel differentiates itself a little easier too. It doesn't get muddled like the background, because the background is a different color, so it really makes each panel stand out individually. A beautiful touch with the coloring there. Love it.
Yeah, and basically like it's these nightmares that Punk Slim keeps having, and it's totally driving Mop Top Bop
He's
mad.
got the poster in the background there.
Yeah, he's got the Steel Streets poster, which is
Yeah.
cool.
Love it.
Basically, yeah, they're out there trying to do their job, but like no garbage has come through the portal in days. So like all they do is basically disintegrate what's there.
Yeah.
So like Mop Top's kind of happy, but like he needs to get away from Punk Slim for a little bit. So he takes a ride on his motorcycle, and he finds this fucking hill that's just like glowing. And that's kind of like the main crux. Like there might be the portal inside the hill. We don't really know what's going on with that. So he goes back to get Punk Slim, who at the time was actually reading Bear Pirate Viking Queen by Sean Lewis and Jonathan Marks Barravecchia, which is hella funny. Where you see that the three-eyed guy has basically possessed his motorcycle. and he's
Yeah,
like telling him to go to sleep so he can like see the truth. And like we get another really cool black and white and red.
the fever dream sequence.
Yeah, this one like he's actually sneaking up on the three like demon things. And like
Hmm.
yeah, basically Mop Top comes and gets him, and like he takes him to the hill, and Punk Slim's like, I'm gonna go see what's inside of it, and like whatever he sees is not good. He kind of just flips out, and then the book just kind of goes into like a crazy fever dream, like basically,
Yeah, I love like the static effect on this,
yeah, the
like where the
sepia.
world, yeah, and with the like the little graininess to it, and it gives it that static feel, like something weird is altering their reality. So such a nice touch, man. Mm.
Yeah, so basically he's psychically projecting like everything that they need to know to fight these monsters. So like basically he kind of died but in the last issue, but think he's gonna be like a talking motorcycle from now on, which is cool. I always think
Yeah,
shit like that's kind of funny in comics, anyways. So,
yeah. It's fun.
and then we get this splash, man. Just bam! Look at that.
Yeah.
That's worth the $6 for the issue right there, man.
And this is where I believe they're kind of hinting at this whole universe is all connected. You have Street Steel guy, you have the frog ninja, you have all these characters from all the other books and stuff in the background here fighting as they're like shooting things. And so I think this is like kind of hinting at the all his books of the superhero comics are all related. They're all in the same universe, interconnected. Mm.
Yeah, which crazy if he ever does a crossover, man, like or an event.
Yeah.
And then yeah, like basically like that's kind of where this issue ends. Is pretty much they are getting ready to fight now because like that's all that like this kind of left for him, right? That's kind of
Mhm.
the gist I got at the end of this issue, and I'm for it, man. This is another one like I can't wait to see where it goes. Like
Yeah.
it's insane. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Lobo, but like it's way more
Yes.
serious.
Yes.
It's
It's definitely got the guns type feel, like
yeah,
guns and guns, like
and then both being dumb as shit. Like hey
yeah,
man,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
kind of rad. That's not
Yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
rad, bro.
Yeah, they're riding the bikes and stuff. Yeah, for sure. It definitely has that Bisley, Alan Grant, Keith Giffen, Lobo vibe to it for sure. It's got a lot of vibes. I mean, he's pulling like it's got that throwback like early 90s, late 80s, early 90s vibe to it, like that over the top just and the style, the heavy inks. It's well, fuck, it's punk rock, man. What do you want me to say?
Yeah, they nailed it, and I
Yeah.
love his allusions to music in both. Like we said, that there's lots of movie and music jokes in
Yeah.
Punk Slim and Punk Rock and Mop Top Bop,
Yeah.
and then there was a few in the first half of Creep Sneak Kill too. Like I said,
Mhm.
the Goo Goo Dolls panel totally killed me, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I dig that kind of thing. As a music lover myself, and like with my writing, like music does play a big part in it. Like I actually like
Mhm.
certain things in certain songs, even though that's not the story to the song. Like I will come up with my own story from it. Like I will put that in my writing, and like I kind of get the feeling that maybe Mahdi does that too.
I'll have to go check. Maybe there's a playlist somewhere for like that it's inspired by or you know.
And
But
I'm not sure why issue 5 would be sold out, man. Like I haven't read the book yet, and like I
Still
have.
Streets 5 sold out.
I'd love to talk to Mahdi though. We'll definitely try to get him on
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Like and he's quite prolific, like putting out writing for the other books and getting artists on, creating like uh Steel Street and his like we said before, his pre-order up now is Pussy Thief. This one looks great. I saw a few pages on his Instagram. This one looks fantastic too. That's up for pre-order now, so if you go on Zuper Comics you can pre-order that now. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff on that site, on the Zuperhero Comics site.
Yeah,
Here's a little Yeah.
How'd you find it? Because you're the one that found the
Instagram. I was following Maddie on Instagram, and I just follow like people when I see their art and I think it's interesting. I just hit follow, and then it pops up on my timeline, and I just caught it. I just that's how that's the main reason why I got off Twitter before I think Elon bought it and fucked all the shit up. I was going on Instagram. I was like, man, it's more about like actual content, people creating stuff. And I was starting to get into Instagram a lot more than Twitter. Twitter's a lot people bitching and complaining and oh, this person's an asshole, this or that. And I went on Instagram and I'm like, it's all about people just sharing their work and their art. And I was like, this is the vibe that I want. And I kind of transitioned from Twitter over to Instagram. And I just keep finding all these really awesome indie artists on Instagram and just, and Maddie shares a lot of his stuff on Instagram, and that's how I found him. And then I saw the Zuperhero Comics was his imprint. I went on there, bam! I saw the section of digital downloads. I went on there and I bought these 3 issues just to start out to see. And man, they just rock, man. They're awesome. Yeah. So Instagram's a great place to find indie artists.
Yeah. I mean, like I really liked Jonathan Marks Barravecchia's art when I first saw it, but like now I'm a pretty big fan of his. Like I really like all I've seen it from him. So I kind of hope that like, yeah, I can't wait to see what he does with this book, but like I can't wait to see what he does in the future. He's a very exciting artist. And then Anya Driffill, I'm very new to her. I just started following her on Instagram as well this week, and I absolutely adore the art in Creep Sneak Kill. So like, I hope that she really kind of
that cover is that cover for Creep Sneak Kill. Woo, love that cover. Beautiful. Yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. I love the title, the font, the layout, just the fence, kids just sitting on the bleachers. I mean, it oozes, what it is right away. Just a bunch of teenagers hanging out, smoking a cigarette on their either on their 15-minute break or their lunch break, just fucking, the world's boring. We got to try to find something to do. That cover tells a whole story on its own, I love that cover. That's a fantastic cover. Yeah, nostalgia, man. Nostalgia. Yeah. It brings me back to my high school years, man. There's a couple things I wanted to show, like this, when they go and they like, this is awesome. I love that. Like, look at the lips on that ape and stuff and the expressions, just good stuff. And me, I like the filters that give that retro kind of glitchiness to it. This is just a pinup they did at the end of issue 2, I believe. Love that. Look at that.
Yeah, it's to be continued page. Yeah.
And then like we're saying, when he was reading the book, you see it's a bear Viking stuff. He's reading the book. And then when you showed it before, I just clipped it closer, the Steel Street guy in the back there. Yeah, so it's cool.
I don't know. I think $6 is okay for an issue, man. If like fucking Boom can ask it, I don't see why not.
Yeah. So yeah, man, I love it. I love this all the stuff there. So
yeah, it's like comic books, man. It's like the same joy I had when I found The Jump by Wesley Griffith. You know what I mean? Like the actual like old school flesh and blood indie comics, man. I do love like what has happened in the quote unquote indie space of comics in the last 10 years, but like they don't really make indie comics at most labels anymore. And it's kind of cool to see like some guy that's completely just devoted to that.
Yeah. Ratio books, fuck. Tell me about it. Don't even get me started on fucking ratio books.
Good call. I mean, for something this neat, kitschy, and boutique, like I'm willing to pay the extra $2 for the issue.
How much are the physicals?
They're $6 and then shipping.
I mean, I've seen smaller imprints charge way more than that, especially Kickstarter prices too. I now have been getting up to like $15-20 for a standard like 28-page comic. So you're not. I think Zuperhero has some very pretty decent prices as far as I'm concerned. Especially if you're going into the crowdfunding space, they're charging way more for their books than what they're charging over here at Zuperhero Comics.
Yeah, I'm kind of a cheapo, and like I think that.
Oh, I'm definitely a cheapo. Why do you think I get the digital, man? I'm not paying no fucking $15 for shipping. Fuck that shit.
Yeah. But I mean, I think the physical price is actually. I don't know what their shipping is though. Like, but like if I was gonna buy something, I'd buy like a good $10. You know, I'd be like dropping like $60. Like,
yeah, that's what I think I might do too. I might just go through and just order but even then, it's going to cost me like 25, probably 25 US to have it shipped to, like, from New York to Montreal. It's going to cost me 25 US to ship it for sure. Anyway, that's my problem. That's not anyone else's problem. So, yeah.
But yeah, man, that was our like first look into Zuperhero Comics, and I'm really excited to see where this goes and to get into more of it because he's got some other books. Like there's one called I think Red and White, which is like a noir book that he did. I'm really interested in getting that. That's going to probably be one of the next ones I get from him, and I definitely want to read his Pussy Thief book. It looks great.
Yeah, it does. I saw a few pages there and I was sold. At first I was like, Pussy Thief. The title, I was like, yeah. But then I saw a couple of the interiors and I was like, okay, yeah. I'm sold. I'm sold. Yeah, so yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Highly recommend. Go check it out. Zuperherocomics.com. They have a lot of stuff to pick from on that site. So,
and I think it's all done by him. I think they are going to be putting out, I think, a book from Italy this year.
Yeah, but I think it's his reinterpretation of it.
Okay, so
yeah.
Okay, so it's not a translated. Okay,
yeah,
my bad. So then, definitely that sounds fun too. Then he's gonna take his dip at trying to do European.
Right on. Yeah,
definitely gonna check that out then too. So yeah, definitely check out Zuperhero Comics if you haven't yet, and give these books a look. Definitely look at what else is there because, I mean, like he's quite prolific and he's quite different in the stuff he does. I mean, a lot of it is kind of superhero-esque because there's like one called Shovel Man and some other kind of, but like he's got some other stuff mixed in there too. Looks pretty fun. Some other sci-fi stuff and war stuff. So, pow. All right. We'll be back on Saturday night. We're going to be doing our music episode. We're going to be talking about punk rock albums. Rock albums to get people into punk rock.
And if you want, I don't know if you'll be there, Johnny. I'm assuming you are. On Friday, we'll be on Phono talking about Love and Robots. Is that the theme?
Yeah, I think we're talking about robot fucking.
So you can come hang out on Friday with the Phono gang as well.
Yep, it's all about robosexuality. Friday night.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see you guys then. Take it easy, y'all.